Most engines are lucky to hit 200,000 miles before they're burning oil and nickeling and diming you to death. Today, we will be talking about 5 Toyota engines that are built different, and the proof is in the numbers. So stay till the end to see if your engine made the list. Number 5. Toyota 1NZF-e, the little engine that refuses to quit. If you've ever written off a small engine as disposable, the 1NZF-e will change your mind. This is a 1.5-liter inline 4-cylinder that Toyota first introduced in 1999. It was built to power subcompact commuter cars, and it was engineered from the ground up for one thing: long service life with low friction. One of the smartest design choices Toyota made on this engine is something called desaxage. That's where the crankshaft axis is offset relative to the cylinder bores. What that does is reduce the thrust load on the cylinder walls during combustion, which means less wear over hundreds of thousands of miles. Most people have never heard of it, but it's one of the reasons this engine lasts. The block is aluminum with cast iron cylinder sleeves, which gives you good heat dissipation while protecting the cylinder walls from wear. In 2003, Toyota upgraded the engine with hydraulic lash adjusters and roller rocker arms, which eliminated the need for manual valve adjustments and cut down on valve train friction significantly. Now, this engine does have weak spots you need to know about. Past 100,000 miles, or about 150,000 kilometers, oil consumption can become an issue, usually from stuck oil control rings or worn valve stem seals. The fix is simple. Change your oil every 5,000 miles using a quality full synthetic 5W30, and don't let it go dirty. The timing chain can stretch and will typically need to be replaced around 100,000 to 120,000 miles, as the critical wear threshold is about 150,000 kilometers. And it should be swapped as a complete kit, including the chain, tensioner, guides, and sprockets. The throttle body and idle control valve are also prone to carbon buildup, so clean them every 30,000 miles along with the MAF sensor and PCV valve. You also need to watch the EGR system on 2003 and later engines. Heavy soot deposits build up inside the intake manifold over time, and because the ECU monitors EGR flow through a temperature sensor, you can't simply block the port without triggering a permanent check engine light. The only real fix is periodically removing the intake manifold and physically cleaning out those EGR passages. It's not a fun job, but it's necessary if you want this engine running cleanly at high mileage. On top of that, keep an eye on the rear main crankshaft seal and the timing chain tensioner O-ring. Both are common points for minor oil leaks as these engines age. They won't leave you stranded, but if you ignore them long enough, what starts as a small seep turns into a bigger mess. Catching them early during routine service keeps the repair simple and inexpensive. If you own one of these and you stay on top of maintenance, 300,000 miles is absolutely within reach. This engine earned its place on this list. Number 4, Toyota 22 RE, the truck engine that became a legend. If you grew up around trucks in the 1980s and 90s, you already know this engine's reputation. The 22 RE is a 2.4-liter inline 4-cylinder that Toyota introduced in 1983. The E stands for electronic fuel injection, which replaced the old carburetor setup and made cold starts more reliable and combustion more efficient. This engine powered the Toyota pickup, the 4Runner, and even the Celica, and it built a reputation for durability that still holds up today. The foundation of this engine is a deep-skirt, thick-walled cast iron block. That's the kind of construction you'd expect on a heavy-duty engine, not a compact truck motor. It resists warping under heat and handles heavy payloads without complaint. Toyota also used soft piston rings on this engine, designed to wear in gradually rather than lock up. The result? is that the cylinder bores don't develop ridges even after extreme mileage. The crankshaft is forged steel, which means the bottom end can handle serious mechanical loading over the long haul. The valve train is a simple single overhead cam setup with 8 valves. Fewer moving parts means less friction and fewer things to go wrong. This is old school engineering done right. The nearly square, slightly over square design, an 89mm stroke paired with a wide 92mm bore and a modest compression ratio, limits top-end horsepower while maximizing low-speed torque, which matches exactly how these trucks were actually used day to day. Now here's what you need to watch. The factory timing chain guides are plastic, and they become brittle and break, typically somewhere between 80,000 and 120,000 miles. When they fail, the chain rattles against the aluminum timing cover and eventually wears through it, allowing coolant to mix with the engine oil. That's catastrophic bearing failure. The fix is to replace those plastic guides with steel-backed aftermarket units. And don't wait on it. The rocker arms and adjusting screws also require a manual valve clearance adjustment every 30,000 miles. Skip that and you'll get ticking, uneven combustion, and valve train wear. The aluminum cylinder head is also sensitive to overheating. Even one serious overheat can warp it and compromise the head gasket. Keep the cooling system in good shape. Inspect the fan clutch and thermostat regularly and flush the coolant on schedule. Beyond those 2 items, this engine rewards the basics. Regular oil changes every 3,000 miles using a quality oil go a long way toward protecting the flat tappet camshaft and valve train. These engines were built in an era when simplicity was the standard, and that simplicity is exactly what makes them so forgiving over the long haul. The 22RE isn't flashy, and it was never meant to be. It was built to start every morning, pull a load, and do it again tomorrow. Treat it right, and it will run well past 300,000 miles without complaint. Number 3. Toyota 2GRFE, the modern V6 built to go the distance. This is the engine that proved Toyota could build a modern, high-tech V6 that still goes the distance. The 2GRFE is a 3.5-liter V6 that debuted in 2005. You'll find it in the Camry, Avalon, Highlander, Sienna, RAV4, and a long list of Lexus models. It's also the engine Lotus chose for the Evora and Emira, which tells you something about how the engineering world views this motor. The block is aluminum with what Toyota calls spiny-type cast-iron cylinder liners. These liners are cast directly into the block with irregular outer surfaces, creating an incredibly strong mechanical bond. The rotating assembly features a forged steel crankshaft with 5 counterweights and forged steel connecting rods. The stock internals can reliably support up to 400 to 450 wheel horsepower under forced induction. Instead of a timing belt, this engine uses a roller timing chain system. That means no scheduled timing drive replacement. It also uses roller rocker arms with hydraulic lash adjusters, so there are no manual valve adjustments needed. For a modern engine with this much technology packed into it, the maintenance demands are surprisingly straightforward, which is a big part of why it shows up on this list. If you're getting value out of this video, hit that subscribe button right now. We put out honest, straightforward engine and truck information every single week, and we don't want you to miss it. But here's what you absolutely must know if you own an early 2GRFE. There are actually 2 separate rubber hoses on this engine that can fail and dump your oil in seconds. First, on engines built up to 2008, the dual VVT-i oil lubrication line was a rubber and metal hybrid hose. It degrades and ruptures under pressure, leading to instant oil starvation. Toyota issued a limited service campaign, 90,000, to replace this with an all-metal pipe. Part number 1, 5772-31030. Second, on models built all the way up through April 2011 that came with the factory towing package, the external engine oil cooler lines featured a similar failure-prone rubber section. Toyota addressed this under a separate campaign, LSC ZE2, with an all-metal upgrade kit, part number 04004-29131. If you own one of these early V6, verifying that both of these all-metal updates have been done is not optional. Beyond that, use full synthetic oil and change it every 5,000 miles. The VVT-i system runs on oil pressure through tiny passages, and dirty oil will destroy those actuators fast. The water pump is also a known wear item on this engine, typically starting to seep coolant from the shaft seal somewhere between 90,000 and 100,000 miles. When you're doing any major front-engine service, replace the water pump and thermostat housing O-rings at the same time. It saves you from pulling everything apart twice. One more thing worth mentioning. The front timing chain cover on this engine is sealed with liquid RTV silicone across multiple mating surfaces. Over time and heat cycles, that sealant breaks down and you'll see a slow oil seep from the front of the engine. It's usually minor enough to manage by keeping an eye on the oil level, but a full repair is a serious job. It requires dropping the front subframe and pulling the engine to properly reseal the cover, so factor that in if you're buying one of these at higher mileage. Number 2, Toyota 2 UZ-Fe, the cast iron V8 that laughs at high mileage. This is the engine that Toyota built when they needed something that could genuinely work for a living. The 2 UZ-Fe is a 4.7-liter V8 that Toyota designed specifically for their largest, heaviest-duty vehicles. The Land Cruiser 100 series, the Lexus LX 470, the Tundra, the Sequoia, and the 4Runner V8. This engine was built to tow, haul, and run hard for decades. Unlike the all-aluminum engines on this list, Toyota went with a cast-iron block on the 2 UZ-Fe. That was a deliberate choice. Cast iron provides maximum structural rigidity and bore stability under sustained heavy loads and extreme thermal cycling. The rotating assembly uses a forged steel crankshaft and sintered connecting rods. The heads are high-quality aluminum alloy with dual overhead cams. The engine features an over-square geometry with a wide 94mm bore and a shorter 84mm stroke, but it is conservatively tuned to push its maximum torque low in the rev range. That keeps the engine from spinning at high wear-inducing RPMs during normal use, which is exactly what you want in a truck or SUV that's working for a living. There are documented real-world examples of this engine exceeding 400,000 miles, and several have reportedly reached 1,000,000 miles without a rebuild. Now, the most critical maintenance item on this engine is the timing belt. The 2 UZ-Fe is an interference engine across all model years. If that belt snaps, the pistons will strike the open valves and destroy the top end. Replace the timing belt, water pump, hydraulic tensioner, and idler pulleys every 90,000 miles or 7 years, whichever comes first. Do not skip this service. Cracked exhaust manifolds are common due to heat cycling. You'll hear a rhythmic ticking. It doesn't hurt the engine, but upgrading to aftermarket stainless headers solves it permanently. On later VVT, I equipped models from 2005 onward. The secondary air injection pump is prone to failure from moisture intrusion, which triggers a limp mode condition and check engine lights. You can replace the pump or install a bypass kit to resolve it. The valve train on this engine uses solid shim-over-bucket lifters, which require a physical valve clearance inspection and adjustment every 100,000 miles. It's not a quick job, but it's essential for maintaining proper cylinder sealing and keeping tappet noise in check. Skipping this service at high mileage is one of the more common mistakes owners make with this engine. Use 6.6 quarts of full synthetic oil, change it every 5,000 miles, and flush the cooling system with Toyota Red coolant on schedule to prevent corrosion of the aluminum heads. This engine is as close to bulletproof as it gets. Number 1. Toyota 1. UZF-e, the billion-dollar V8. That defined luxury reliability. Toyota reportedly spent over $1 billion developing this engine. When you understand what they built, that number makes sense. The 1 UZF-e is a 4-liter all-aluminum V8 that Toyota introduced in 1989 specifically for the launch of the Lexus brand. The goal was to go head-to-head with the best luxury engines from Europe, and they succeeded. This engine powered the Lexus LS400, the SC400, the GS400, and the Toyota Soarer, among others. The block has a 90-degree bank angle with thin, cast-in-place iron cylinder liners. The rotating assembly is secured by a 6-bolt main bearing design. That's the kind of spec you see in racing and heavy-duty applications. It keeps the forged steel crankshaft perfectly aligned, minimizes internal friction, and reduces vibrational harmonics. Early non-VVT-i variants feature exceptionally thick forged steel connecting rods and pistons, making the bottom end extraordinarily durable. The valve train uses dual overhead cams with solid aluminum alloy lifters and outer shim-type adjusters. No hydraulic lifters to fail. This engine generates conservative power from 4 liters of displacement, which means it's never being pushed anywhere near its mechanical limits during normal driving. The engine also uses a rubber timing belt that drives the intake camshafts, which in turn drive the exhaust camshafts through helical gears, a unique and elegant design that keeps the valve train compact and precise. Here's what you need to stay on top of. The timing belt must be replaced every 90,000 miles, along with the water pump. On early non-VVT-i engines, a snap belt simply shuts the engine down safely. But on late 1994 and all VVT-i engines from 1997 onward, the cylinder head was revised, and it became an interference engine. A snap belt on those will destroy the top end. No second chances. The starter motor sits in the valley of the engine block under the intake manifold. Replacing it is a major job that requires pulling the fuel rails, throttle body, and the entire intake plenum. Watch for intermittent clicking and replace it before it fails completely. On 1990 to 1997 models, the ECU is also prone to failure from leaking electrolytic capacitors on the circuit board, causing hard starts, rough idling, and fuel injection problems. Have the ECU rebuilt using high-quality Japanese capacitors rated for 105-degree operation. Brands like Nichicon, Panasonic, or Rubicon will handle the job right. Power steering pump leaks are another age-related issue to watch on this engine. Because of where the pump sits, leaking fluid drips directly into the alternator. And once the alternator goes, you've got a much bigger problem on your hands. Stay ahead of it by inspecting the power steering system regularly and addressing any seepage before it becomes a failure. What makes the 1 UZF-e truly stand apart from everything else on this list is the margin of engineering that went into it. Toyota didn't build this engine to meet a spec. They built it to exceed every expectation that existed at the time. The result is a V8 that, when properly maintained, has proven itself capable of running well beyond 300,000 miles in real-world use across multiple continents and decades of service. These 5 engines, the 1 NZF-e, the 2 2RE, the 2 GRF-e, the 2 UZF-e, and the 1 UZF-e, all share the same foundation. Toyota built them with conservative power outputs, robust internal components, and cooling systems designed to last. But none of them will reach 300,000 miles on their own. Clean oil, proper coolant maintenance, and addressing the known weak spots early. That's what separates the engines that make it from the ones that don't. Take care of the machine, and the machine will take care of you.